Howdy folks, it's Meandering Mike in the Man Cave of Madness. It is before midnight and we are doing an unboxing of Attack on Cahokia. This is another game from the Historical Game Company. This is set in 1780, part of the American Revolutionary War on the Mississippi River. Now, I have done on my channel an unboxing and how to play and playthroughs before of this game, Fort Jefferson Attack. I've unboxed these other ones here. The Battle of St. Louis is happening just across the river from the Attack on Cahokia. Same. I'm not going to say simultaneous, because I don't know if they, according to my smoke signal and launched at the exact same time, or basically the same days they were attacking on both sides of the river, Cahokia and that. Now, I plan on my channel in 2024 to play all 5 of these games. Well, 4. I've already played this one, but I'll do videos on 4 of them. I won't do this one again, but I will play all 5 in a campaign game where I'm going to link the results together, where I'll do them in chronological order, and whichever side wins the first battle will get an advantage in the second battle. Small advantage, but still yet advantage in battle. So that will link them all together, and I will do that sort of as a series. So I haven't yet unboxed this one. So our magic oyster shucker of power +2 for shrink wrap removal. As usual, I pre-prep the shrink a bit here. These Blue Panther shrink wraps are not the light, flimsy, filmy kind of thing. This is more like a thick cellophane. Now, I've got a bit of glare going there, but let's see if I prop it that way. All right, let's take a look at the back of the box. If I can get that to stand without sliding down, and I can zoom in on the data potatoes in the back. All right, so as you can see, we have the standard thick counters, 48 of them, a 4-page rulebook, 20 game cards. This is all standard for the Historical Game Company. Level 11 by 17 map. It looks like it's the canvas map. I'm assuming it's the canvas map. One of the great bargains of these Historical War Game Company games printed by Blue Panther is those canvas maps at a very reasonable price. So this was set in 1780, May. Now, this game does not, to my understanding, include Spanish forces. The Spanish had joined the American Revolutionary War against the British and fighting, down in Florida area, Baton Rouge, Pensacola, and there. But here at Cahokia, it's the British and their native allies are attacking American colonists, French militia units, and their Kaskaskian native allies. So let's look in the box and see what we got here. Push those back. Tilt down so we can see the components. So we have some counter fallout there. So usually these don't fall out. These, like I said, those nice thick counters, which are too thick because these don't leave nibs, but I still like to round the counters for aesthetic purposes, and these are too thick. See that? That's thick. That's really thick. All right, so the counters are all here. They've just fallen out, some of them. Okay, since this is the... Let's zoom back out a little bit. There we go. All right. So, as usual with this game, you have an attack value, a defensive value, a movement allowance. The range is the number and circle. So, most units in these games have a 2 range. Artillery, like here, has a 4 range. And occasionally there's cavalry or such that have a 1 hex range. Here's, I guess these are the civilian populations. Those don't have any range. Wow, so it looks like there's only 1 artillery. Let's see, this is did the That's more natives for the British. All right. The Brits have no artillery at all. The American Illinois units here have only one. So not much long-range action in this game. All right, here's a... Well, these are... shows a cavalry symbol, but it's got two range, so they're like dragoons. They're moving up and then maybe dismounting to shoot or whatnot. I don't think they shot from horseback in this era, but I'm not sure. If you know, post a comment. All right, let's look at the cards here. Now, as usual, from Blue Panther, they've got these kind of a band on them, which I don't keep because I would use my little plasti bands. Yes, those of you that filled that in for me who have watched the channel much know all about the plasti bands. If you do not, I have a video about plasti bands, why they are so much better than rubber bands. If you care about your games and their longevity and their protection, and that's just like a printer's card in between batches. So the way this game works is you have 10 cards for each side, and at the beginning of your turn you draw a card, and it basically tells you how many units you can move and attack with each turn, and there'll be a special event. Okay, so you can, decide within these limitations, which units will move, where, and it doesn't have to be the same units moving as attacking. Because in fact, in this game system, if you've moved, you cannot do a range attack. You can only do a close combat attack. So you have to be in position and shoot range attack in your turn by not moving. But if you move up, you can close assault. So let's see, 5 and 5, 5 and 4, 5 and 4, 4 and 3. So you got to look at the variability: 6 and 4, 6 and 4, 4 and 3, 3 and 3, 6 and 5. So they don't have any ones here. They're going to be pretty well prepared in their forts. They've just got slight variation, nothing where they can't move anybody at all. Some examples: the Cahokia militia gets to add one to their attack rolls. Here's a replacement. They can return a dead guy from the dead pool. This is a special. The 2nd Illinois Regiment units out toward the enemy units. Rogers Light Dragoons, good bonus. Additional movement for the Illinois regiments. At the mission property, you had +1. The Kaskaskian guys get a +1 in combat. Some special, I don't know who this guy is, John Duff, but maybe he's a really good shot or something. And he automatically gets to remove 1 Native American unit, placed in the British dead pile. So it was like, bang. So that'd be interesting to find out about that history, right? Who was John Duff at the Battle of Cahokia? Field gun. You get to add +1 to the 1 American gun. Oh, this is important. Rally, this game. So this is not a how to play, but basically you're rolling a die plus an attack to the modified defense strength. Terrain modifies the defense strength. And if your modified attack roll equals or exceeds the defense, you hit the guy. If you're equaling or exceeding by 1, you just demoralize them. If you exceed by 2 or more, it's an auto kill. If you're already demoralized and you get demoralized again, you're dead. So being able to rally, you normally do it at the end of your own turn. So if they shoot you in their turn, you don't get to move at all in your turn. And at the very end, if you're not in a zone of control, you can rally. Well, a card like this is letting you rally at the start of your turn, even if you're in zone of control. So that's like can turn the tide of a battle in a critical place where the enemy's encroaching and they've demoralized you and they're trying to drive and kill you out and take it over, and boom, you can rally. All right, so we're not going to look at all the British ones, but a quick idea. So they can move potentially more here. Look at this: 10 and 5, 5 and 4, 6 and 2. That's an interesting one. Fort Bowman. They're intimidated from attacking, maybe. 7 and 6. All Chippewa. So it's the Chippewa is the native allies allied to the British. There looked like there was only like 2 British dudes. They got that like the coonskin cap. So these might be scouts or merchant traders, or they might not even be British. They could be working for the British, but they could actually be French working on the side of the British, or hired backwood guide dudes or something. But all right, Chip 6 and 5, 8 and 6. So on average, the Brits get to move and attack with more units, but sometimes they've got wavering loyalties. No Native American units can move or can attack that turn. So there's some more fortunes of war here. There's fog of war, friction war, and fortunes of war. This game has no fog of war other than you're not knowing what cards are coming up when, right? But sometimes you get the fortune of war there. The friction of war sort of also is that notion of like, I want to move guys a certain place and I can't move as many, or these bonuses are like, a fortune of war kind of thing. So let's move on. Let's look at the map. The map. We're all waiting for the map. All right. So luckily these smaller maps fitting in. So that's what, 11 by 17, right? I would call it that. They just have to fold it over once to fit in here, and they don't really have to crease it. They just sort of, lay it over like, I can see that edge, like that. So rarely is there any kind of creasing in these. Unfortunately, from some of the other games from Blue Panther with canvas maps, if they're bigger ones, they get folded with an actual crease, and that can be hard to get out. So I don't know if anyone out there who's doing Blue Panther, producing games, a publisher who uses Blue Panther, if you're doing these maps and you're doing bigger ones, get the bigger box so you don't have to put the canvas map, so it can lay in there. You can have your components there, and it can the components can be sandwiched in amongst the thing, and maybe you can have it rolled over 2 or 3. I don't know, but certainly you can roll these things up. Maybe put that in the box there for your own storage or not. But anywho, let's concentrate on the map itself. So there is the mission property. So that's an orchard, Fort Bowman, the church. It's been, walled, a stockade. Let's see what they call it here on the terrain effects chart. Fort Bowman mission property, orchard walls. +2 to the defender. Attacked across. And you get to ignore retreat results. Ooh, that's nice. Because normally when you're hit that equal or 1 above, you retreat and you're demoralized. You're flipped over, so you can't move, you can't attack. You still have the same defense number, but again, like I said, if they hit you again, you're gonna die. But these walls, it's not going to force you to retreat away from them. According to this, there's some kind of, looking at the map and there's a barrier fence. Oh, here it is. I thought that was a stream at first. That's a barrier fence. Very interesting. So these are all fields. This looks like that's probably where the civilians set up. The British entry are these red areas on the top. British, mostly mostly Indians. Yeah, the Chippewa. That was interesting. Who was that? Trying to look at Lang. Oh, they are traders, so they are people who trade with the the natives, and they are leading them. So there's no actual British troops per se at all here. Well, there might be an attachment of soldiers with these trader dudes. That's good. Okay, so there's multiple. Yeah, there's the Chippewa, which are the green circle. There's a little bit of glare there. See the green circle. But there are also these guys here. What's that? Is that an OT? The PO are the Potawatomi, and the OT is Ottawa. So there's one unit of Ottawa. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh no, there's 4. There's 3 more Ottawa here because they're the counters that fill out. So if we stick these back in here, 4 Ottawa, and this actually might sort of stay in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Potawatomi. Okay. Now it says TR. Wait, there's one black one and one gray one. Here it's saying TRAD, T-TRAD, British Canadian Fur Traders and British Indian Department Officers. Lang is Charles de Langlade. Obviously French. Charles de Langlade. Interesting. All right. So, anything else of interest? These here are individual buildings, like settlements. Those give you +1 in defense. The woods and orchards, +1 on defense. So, orchard to orchard, if they're inside the orchard, +1. If they're shooting across the walls, you're getting the +2 of the wall. Road does allow you a 1/2 movement factor to move along the road. Rigolette Stream. Okay, now, I think I saw on Board Game Geek a clarification. Full river, ford, bridge, same as road. Where I think, there's been a couple of games where there's been some quite mismatch between what sometimes the rules say and the combat chart. Let's see, special rules clarifications. What's it say here about the river? I'm not seeing it. Oh, Rigolette Stream is fordable. Okay, see, this is a bridge. That's not a ford. So you can ford this. So this is an exception. And see, the problem is it's in the midst of the special rules. It's actually overriding here where it says movement prohibited. Well, in this game, this looks like the full river terrain of their other games, except it's not. It's the Rigolette Stream. And it's fordable. The Rigolette Stream is fordable, but all units must stop when move into hex of the stream, and can only move out or across the stream the following turn. All American units it just it stops. Now, it doesn't say here, unless it's mentioned somewhere under combat procedures. Yeah, see, this guy makes a nice game, and for the most part, they're relatively well written, but there's these little details that get missed, and he needs more proofreader, more playtesters of final versions of the rules. And the fact that this is available, like, on print on demand, so I don't know. I'd have to look, say, that was my question that I posted, and I haven't looked for a response yet, is, are these updated? Because you can easily update this stuff because you've sent files to the print on demand folks. And this is also available on Wargame Vault as a print and play. So if someone has bought this game as a print and play, have they corrected the rules where this confusion about, well, that's not full river, this is the Rigolette stream, and what's the effect? And if you're in the river attacking out, I think you're saying, oh, the defender would get a +1 on their defense. But it doesn't say that here. So even when they talk about the movement, and so again, I'm not going to look through all these rules right now. There may be somewhere buried in the combat thing talking about streams and adding one attacking across, but it's not here in this one sentence of exception about the Rigolette stream. But they had a like that in the Fort Jefferson attack game. There was a section. You can't quite see that because I'm down too low here. Oops, sorry, fat fingers. There was, part of the Mississippi River that obviously wasn't passable, but there was this. Don't remember the name of it. There was this sort of this inlet stream kind of that looked as big as what is river hexes, but it was crossable. But there was some, what does it mean attacking across? And the clarification, which wasn't obvious complete enough, was that shooting across, you don't get a defensive bonus, but if the guys have moved into fort and something, and then they're attacking out, sort of out of, not across per se. So anyway, that's sort of a little add-on in my unboxing here. We're at 22 minutes, almost 23. I'm wanting to keep these down to 15 minutes, but obviously Meandering Mike tends to meander. But anyway, so that one little nitpicky thing, don't let that bother you. These are great, fun games. I'm looking forward to playing this one. They play pretty quick. In 2024, I plan to leverage a lot more series games. So I'm excited to play, these, including this one. So like a series of 5 games, all with the same combat system, just each one might have a few of the little exceptions. And I will film 4 of them for the channel, since I've already filmed this one. But that'll be a fun little series, and I plan on covering some other series games, maybe a couple from Hollenspiele, and maybe another one from the Decision Games, the Hand of Destiny series, where I did let the Vorbeck do another one of those, maybe Khartoum Rifles or something like that, or Khyber Pass, or Khyber Rifles, that's what it's called, or something like that. So I haven't yet formulated my list of 10 games for the year for the War Room, so that kind of thing. A little shout out for them. This coming Saturday, the 7th, they're doing their rewards for those people who finished their 10 games for the year for 2023. They're going to, draw names of those who finished and award some prizes. They'll also be announcing the rules for 2024. They're getting a little late start this year, but those rules will be announced then, and then you'll have till January 31st, if you want to participate, to publish your 10 games for the year. But they're, as usual, they tend to add some little rule each year. So we don't know yet, so you can't finalize. But I've got a tentative list of 10 games, and 4 of them are these guys, not including these ones. These 4 here are tentatively on my list. All right, so Meandering Mike in the Man Cave of Madness, we have just unboxed Attack on Cahokia right here from the Historical Game Company, printed by Blue Panther. Now, the Historical Game Company, I think now, going forward, is officially publishing through Black Panther. And so they've had on their website for the Historical Game Company games for sale that they would have Blue Panther print and ship. But I think their games going forward are being offered for sale on Blue Panther's site. So if you go to Blue Panther LLC and you look and you find the Historical Game Company collection, you can find all their games for sale. And as far as I know, none of their games have gone out of print. Some of the books, the Historical Game, Steve Kling, the proprietor of the Historical Game Company, he is also a great author with some really awesome quote-unquote textbooks that are like way better than any textbooks that I read in terms of the quality and the value, the price. What you get for the price is just amazing. So enough of that. We continue to ramble. So let's sign off here. Meandering Mike, Man Cave of Madness. Take care. Look forward to 2024. Actually playing a bunch of these dudes. Take care and ciao.